Hi, and welcome to a new episode of Sparks by VinoVonk. My name is Jeroen, and I'm going to talk to you about proxies. Normally we talk about wines, spirits, innovative drinks, but a proxy is a very innovative drink. I found this beverage from Brito Farm through Instagram, and I sent a message, and now we are here with Roza Brito from Brito Farms. Roza, thank you very much for your time, and thank you very much for sending me this bottle.
Everyone, and cheers to you. Nice to meet you all and talk about non-alcoholic space a bit.
Yeah, it's very nice to meet you. You already have it in your glass. Shall I pour it also?
Yeah, let's have a try. Every time it tastes different to me, so I always like to try.
Well, it didn't explode, so I'm very happy. What a smell. Oh, it's like a lot of herbs, a lot of energy. I can't describe it other than energy. It's a kind of tea, but it's not very much tea. Roza, can you tell us what it is?
So this is also fermentation, maybe not the one that you know from wine, but at Brito Farm we moved every ingredient through the fermentation. That's our, let's say, way to make proxy. The point of it is that fermentation change the taste. So although it's herbs, some herbs you probably know, like oregano, thyme, the one that you used in the kitchen. Sometimes you have tea from it, so you might know the taste. But when it's touched by fermentation, I think it elevates it in a little bit of different perspective on this herb. That's for what proxy for me is. It's just to give pleasure of drinking, but also like show a bit different layer of the same ingredient. And we also use the ingredients that are maybe less used, like a hyssop herb. That's really rarely used, but it's personally my favorite for the fermentation. And most of the herbs and ingredients you found in this bottle, it's actually is from the surrounding of me, which is my parents' farm or our farm. So right now we are in stage of the farm, but we like to use the real ingredients, not the extracts that are standardized.
I totally love it. It's really amazing. It's like a lot of herbs, but it's so complex, but it's also very accessible at the same time. And it's a total new dimension for me, because it's not a sparkling tea I'm used to, and it's not sweet. It's a little bit bitter. It has a kind of sweetness, but it's very dry. And I think, okay, I want to pair this with food. I want more of this because it's so complex. It's so full of energy.
I love it.
I really love it. But we're going straight into the depth, I would say. But for the people who don't know you, who is Roza Brito?
So I'm right now, I like to consider myself as a future, let's say, a farm owner, let's say. I want to work with the land and I want to work with the fermentation. This drink actually was made, I would say, by many people, because it was tested for almost 3 years at the market. So at the market, food market, as you buying your local like eggs, vegetables, like very setting where you don't see wine bottles, for example. So that was quite shocking for some people, and hearing that it's not wine. But honestly, taste and the feelings you describe, it went from this repetition of showing and tasting by customers. Because sometimes it went really crazy, and I believe my customers remember some of them. Sometimes it went very sparkling, so it's slightly dangerous, that's a natural fermentation. And now I believe this bottle you have, it's a really nice introduction on a wider market outside of just the farmer's market. Yeah, that's a first our first bottle. We also made the one that it's from different sources of basil and the magnolia flower as addition, and then black pepper. Although I couldn't even send you because it just went away from the distributors and customers. So I don't have even myself to try.
No, you're very popular because on this bottle it says bottles number is 708 of 770 bottles. So it's very small. And you're from Poland. And where in Poland are you?
Right now I'm on Mazovian area, which is if you go to Warsaw and you try to go more south towards Ukraine, you're gonna pass the village. And this was our, you say it's small, but for me that was our biggest batch. Really, for 2 years we did this really small batches of like 60, 100 bottles just to go to that point. And now I hope we're preparing for the bigger batch now. So it's really, everything is fresh, but kind of old for me as well, because we're testing it for so long. It hasn't been that month ago we had idea because a lot of proxies are out there, so we want to do it. It was quite a long journey. So I'm really happy that I can share with the customers.
Yeah, it's like making a bowl of soup. When you make a bowl of soup for 2 or for 4 people, then you get a lot of feeling with it. And then somebody's asking you, okay, let's make a soup for 400 people. Well, you have to put in 400 times of the ingredients, and that it's a whole new dimension. And how did you do that? Was it in small step, like 6 bottles, 60 bottles, 600 bottles, or how did it went?
Exactly how you're saying, like maybe 6 bottles. Yeah, sometimes we do even only 6 bottles, like the one sample I sent you. But it was for, let's say, 1 year, just I could say, one taste and like 60 bottles. Then another year we went crazy with amount of roads, also going small, like 60, 100 bottles per batch. And now we're moving to this stage that we're doing, we want to do like 1,000 bottles per batch. And my really, I am a huge believer, we should talk in next 2 years, but I'm a huge believer that these emotions can be transported in a bigger batches. But there is a big danger to go easier paths. So I'm really working on, still using fresh ingredients if this necessary, still using the farmed ingredients, and have this not using extracts that are much easier to control, still using fermentation with let's say the same process. The control, there has to be higher control, but I'm also really a huge believer in technology, so we can control and check so much now that it can go with parallel and help us to have the same romantic values in higher quantity. So we should talk in next years if that will be success, but that's the point. I don't want to do it to make differently.
But you also could think, okay, let's make small batches like 600 bottles, 700 bottles. It isn't very small, but you could work in batches like, okay, we're making for 700 bottles and making the same for 700 bottles. And if you don't have enough ingredients, or you think, okay, the quality of the herbs or something isn't good enough, then you just wait. And
Yeah,
it's like making making it small, making it very exclusive also.
yeah. So that's our, as you say, our goal is not go. It's not necessarily we don't have to go in a scale, but yeah, we want to keep quality. We want to have people that enjoy it sometimes every week. There are people that enjoy it every week, and this is the biggest happiness for me. This is something why I wanted to do it. That the same person coming every week and let's say tells me about their mood for this week, and I can move the which bottle to choose. This human part, it's amazing.
Yeah. But how did you learn about fermentation, and where does your passion come from?
It's been a long time ago already. Because I started the fermentation, let's say, techniques on doing studies. I was studying industrial design, and my biggest interest was not to produce, and the school was, let's say, our faculty was taught that it's not the point to make another chair, we can think about it a bit differently. And that time I really focused on fermentation. And since then I was working more on the fermentation on different than industry parts and work there, which is amazing, which gives me a lot of, I love it and I still do it. But sometimes I'm asked like how it's similar to wine industry. I feel like when I talk with some winemakers, why they do this, I think we have the same similarity. Similar, let's say, why? Because it's beautiful in many aspects, from having a grape to having a wine, this process of fermentation and transformation. I think about it the same, I think, as wow, winemakers think about the grape and wine and etc.
Yeah, you talk a lot about fermentation, but I don't know a lot about fermentation. But I know a little bit about kefir and a little bit about kombucha. In what kind of category do I have to place this? Is this a kefir? Is this a kombucha? Or is it something else?
Yeah, that's also very fluent. Let's say sometimes the customers categorize it itself as kombucha. I try to not categorize. I think proxy is the term that was created, not by me, that is the most broad. Because sometimes I use the kefir cultures, sometimes kombucha cultures, other type of microorganisms, and sometimes there are blends. And I try different kombuchas. I cannot, for example, run and drink it. So like with kombucha, I can run and drink it as a refreshment. With my drinks, I don't know, I feel like that's not the same category because it's more intensive. So it's still kind of open book. I call it proxy myself. Some people call it botanical ferment or just ferment. But I think this space, it's not really yet so well made.
Because in between of these kind of different categories, and it's not a wine, it's not a kombucha, it's not a tea, it's a sparkling herbal fermented juice. Well, it isn't a juice, a drink.
Yeah, it doesn't have, let's say, fruits so much. This one has little bit, but the fruitiness might come from the fermentation itself. So yeah, I keep it open. My point at this point is to make it better and better in terms of taste, get a bit better layers. I think a lot can be still made, and that's my focus right now. And I think if somebody wants to call it kombucha, I'm totally fine with this. If somebody wants to call it sparkling tea as a herbal tea, I'm also fine. I'm more listening at this point what people say. So what you would categorize it, yeah.
Yeah, it's a proxy because it's in between, and maybe the name of the category is a proxy. And if you work in IT, you think proxy is something completely different because you use it in connection with your computer. But I think this is really this standout of the proxy revolution, because you see it a lot. I already talked about proxies in Sparks by VinoVonk. I see it around a lot because a lot of people think it's a new dimension of natural wine because it's natural made. It's most of the time it's organic, biodynamic. It's a new revolution. It's a new kind of drink, and it's not like a soda or a refreshment you put in a can. You drink it on the way home in the train or something. No, you have to sit, relax, maybe enjoy it with some food. Talking about food, do you also sell this in restaurants in Poland, or do you also sell it outside of Poland?
So we started to show it outside of the farmers market this year. Actually, that was a Christmas market, was the first market that was outside our, small farmers market. Since then, we seen in restaurants, and also we sold to the distributor that works with restaurant. Because the reality is that we really want to focus on, still on putting this fermentation on still higher level. So we really cooperate with distributors that work with restaurants and have this connection to really focus on the farm and on bringing it again on a better level. So it's still fresh. This year it happened, and I hope by the end of the year we're gonna go abroad as well.
It's very nice because I looked for it in the Netherlands and it isn't available yet. But when the batches will grow, the audience will grow, then maybe it will be available in the Netherlands also. But for the record, the ingredient sourcing, you grow everything yourself and you make everything yourself? Or how do I see it?
Not everything, but the limitation of not using tea and not going so freely to use imported ingredients is really crucial. I like limitations because limitations are pushing us a little bit to think a bit different. But most of the ingredients are sourced from the farm, from the wildness, like forests. Or you have in this bottle you drink, there is, I don't know English word for it, but it grows next to lakes. It looks like a grass and it has like a black, and there is the root itself. It's when you make tea from it, it's horrible. It's really, really, I don't want to say it's bad taste because it's the taste is very subjective, but it's not really pleasurable. But when you put it in ferment, I think this kind of like mineral feeling of the wetness of this, soil, you can really feel it. It's made a big difference. So we like to look around what is available, and sometimes we use ingredients that are less usual, not from the farm. We buy it, or like magnolia is not really something that grows easy in Poland, but we used it in seasonal batch once, and it really blends well with the basil. I'm actually surrounded by basil, so we try to use everything that is for us accessible.
Yeah. And do you grow organically or biodynamically or conventional?
So my parents, for example, don't have any certificate. The only reason for that is that they have so many different varieties of small scale, vegetables of small scale, that they not have time on the paperwork part. I'm trying to, with the field I make with my husband, we're gonna try to get the certification and the papers in place. So I cannot say bio on a label because we don't have these papers, but everything is without, pesticides in a very, in a way that we should be able to do it, but that's the thing we work on, to get the papers in place and actually put it on label.
Yeah, and so this is something for the future and still innovating and still making new prototypes. We're going in a couple of minutes to a prototype you sent me, but you told me that you were selling now on the farmers market. And how were the reactions with the people and what kind of people went there?
Everyone's going to farmers market.
No. Yeah. Is making or drinking proxies a huge trend in Poland? Yeah. And what do you see for the future? Or shall we first go to the prototypes you sent me? I'm very curious about the prototype. Yeah, but you told me to mix it, so I mixed it. I was a little bit scared, so I opened it outside because it looked very dark. And as you know, the videos on Instagram where people open a bottle and everything splashes. That was in my mind, but it didn't happen. Wow, it's uh, it's very cloudy. It's like a very cloudy natural wine. The association I have, but when you smell it, it's a lot of herbs. It's like when you have a lot of herbs in your hand, fresh and dried, and you rub it in your face, and you think, "What's happening?" And somebody's smacking it in your face, making you awake. And there's a lot of flowers also inside. Oh, and it's a little bit like Christmas and pumpkin season. It's very complex. There's happening a lot with me right now. Yeah. Uh, yeah, I will taste it, and because this is the only bottle that was left, eh? You don't have it anymore. It's completely different from the other one. It's very round. It's very complex, and it also has some tannins like on my gums. It's squeezing. It's very intriguing, and I get goosebumps because I think, okay, what is happening here? It's very nice. Maybe I'm taking too long, but it's more tea vibes than the other one, but it's very round. But what I think maybe is missing, it's it's a little bit flat on the aftertaste. Maybe the aftertaste of this one is much more complex, much more body. And this one is like when when you swallow it, it's pretty much gone at the same time. Yeah, but it. Oh, could you tell me what I'm drinking? Yeah, but you also have a lot of, like in restaurants, you have a lot of house wines. It's a simple wine. You take a sip, it's nice. You swallow it, it's gone, and you have another sip. But yeah, this isn't what you are achieving. You want to achieve a very complex, high quality premium drink. But I also have some strawberry vibes and like Chinese pepper, Szechuan pepper. It's very aromatic. It's also very nice. Yeah, yeah, I love it because it's about innovating. It's about making different iterations, making it on a standard way, not doing something, okay, let's try it. And if it's good, it's good. No, you have to know what you do because when it's good, you want to repeat it and make it better and build, measure, learn it. It's like the lean startup cycle. You want to do it. It's very intriguing. What did you want to say? It's work in progress. It's a prototype. If it wasn't a prototype, it was a product that was finished, and this isn't finished yet. But what do you see for the future of proxies, and what is your future vision? Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, there will be a maximum because you are growing everything yourself, or most of everything, like 95%. You're doing everything yourself, so there will be a maximum. Yeah, and do you think that you are disrupting a market in Poland and out of Poland? Yeah. And Rosa, thanks again for joining me because we had a little hiccup. Do you think you are disrupting a market, or do you think you are adding something to a market that maybe disrupts another kind of category?
Yeah, I think it's add on the category. My goal is not disruption. If that will happen as disruption, that will be by accident, That's not the goal. There's so many goals, personal goals for it, to work with the land, to have these herbs. That's really the disruption of market. It's not the goal. But I hope it will be a really nice add-on. And I hope to be on more wine festivals. And I hope one day I'm going to be in the same room as winemakers, because right now I'm usually on a separate room.
Yeah, that's still a strange thing because it's it's beverage to enjoy in a complicated fine dining or just dining in a restaurant or in gastronomy. And you don't have to see it like something separate when you're going to tastings, but you don't have to think, okay, this is a wine. You don't have to make the same tasting notes as a wine. It's an other kind of thing,
Yeah, and honestly,
in my
sometimes on
opinion.
these festivals, I have the situations when I don't have, let's say, time to tell somebody it's non-alcoholic and it's not a wine. And sometimes, when there is no information, people enjoy it as wine and comment it as a natural wine because usually it looks kind of like natural wine. The visuals about it. So when I don't have I skip it, it's really interesting how people perceive it when you add this information. Sorry, it's not from grapes.
No.
So yeah, I believe we really have space in the same room.
Yeah. And you're working on new kinds of fermentation, experimenting. Let's say in 5 years, what do you expect you are making in 5 years? Like
Mhm.
new kinds of proxies or new categories, or what do you think?
So if you ask me that, my first dreams that coming to my mind are more on a technical side, which is I wish to bring a bit of more fermentations that are not so available. And let's say it needs a little bit more time. They're more complicated, which I know it's possible, but in order to do it in scale, I need a little bit more time. So I really want to improve on this technical part. I really want to have more aftertaste, more layers, and I have managed him on the technical part. On non-technical part, I really dream to be in the same room as a winemakers on a festival. That's one thing. And I think whatever, I hope people gonna enjoy. I hope I'm gonna have the same clients as well that coming to me every week. If they're listening to that, I hope they're gonna keep coming because that also gives a lot of happiness. And I hope to get new one abroad. So yeah, this part to spread it abroad, it's really important as well. So many dreams.
Yeah. Dream big, start small, and you already started. So the big things will come soon, I think, because they're full of energy. I poured a fourth glass, and I'm full of energy. It's like a like a non-alcohol. It's like a proxy of Red Bull, but without caffeine. I will have a sleep, but it's very good. I'm really looking forward to the other drinks. Very nice to meet you also. Thank you very much for your time. I will enjoy this bottle further. And if you want to know more about Roza and her journey, her contact details are in the show notes. Roza, thank you very much. In Netherlands, we say proost. What do we say in Poland?
Na zdrowie.
Na zdrowie. Thank you very much, Roza.
Thank you.
This was a new episode of Sparks with VinoVonk. My name is Jeroen. If you want to know more about me, my website, vinovonk.com. Subscribe to your favorite podcast channel, YouTube, whatever. Send me a message what you want to know more about innovative beverages, drinks, proxies, wines, other kind of things. And we will see you next week. Mazovian.
Bro, I already forgot how to say it in your language, but
Proost.
bro,
Proost.
it's so hard.